This is CBN NewsWatch.
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ephraim Graham. We begin with North Korean leader Kim Jong Un's surprise visit to China in his first known overseas trip since taking power in 2011. The leaders worked out a game plan ahead of President Trump's meeting with the rogue regime's dictator. Our national security correspondent Eric Rosales looks at why China is now playing a bigger role in this meeting.
The two-day secret meeting between the leaders from North Korea and China could lead to another seat at the table when President Trump sits down to talk with Kim Jong Un. China brings some extra clout after President Xi Jinping announced North Korea's commitment to denuclearization. Both are signals to the American president that the young reclusive dictator has the support of China, the most formidable power in the region. The commitment to stand down on nukes follows a busy year of a combined 17 full-flight missile tests, including North Korea's sixth and largest nuclear test to date. Since that show of force has been followed by a surprise olive branch, some question North Korea's motives. Regardless, experts call for the U.S. to pursue a specific goal when it eventually gets to the negotiating table.
This first meeting should be keenly focused on the actual steps that North Korea will take to denuclearize and to end its ballistic missile program.
Retired Army Colonel Scott Lingenfelter says the U.S. should only move forward with talks if North Korea proves it's serious toward meeting that demand. The former commander who served in South Korea says Kim Jong Un must be open to inspections and physically turning over rocket pieces. Otherwise, no deal.
He can't be trusted, and he has absolutely no record. Nor did his father or his grandfather have any record of reliability when it comes to negotiating with the West. I mean, in the six power talks, his father walked away.
North Korea defense experts say that the U.S. should not offer anything like oil, food, or money to curry favor with North Korea.
Back in 2009, the North Koreans actually asked the South Koreans for $10 billion to have a summit. Now, the South Koreans said no, but this is where this could potentially go.
If this denuclearization goal were to be reached, Kazianis warns the U.S. would still have a long way to go in Asia.
We have to remember the long-term threat the United States faces. North Korea is part of that, but China is the bigger threat.
And here's a look at some of the other big headlines we're following for you right now in the CBN newsroom. President Trump continues to shake things up at the White House, this time ousting Veterans Affairs Secretary David Shulkin. The president tapped White House physician Ronnie Jackson to replace Shulkin. The active duty admiral has served in the last 3 administrations. Some are concerned, though, about his ability to lead the department, but President Trump says he is highly trained and qualified. Sacramento leaders are on edge today as the family of Stephon Clark prepares for his funeral. Clark is the 22-year-old unarmed black man who police officers shot and killed. Activist and preacher Al Sharpton will deliver the eulogy. The city has seen protests, and there are concerns about an increase in the unrest. Family and police are calling for calm and healing today. A new federal study shows more security officers are being assigned to America's schools. The National Center for Education study shows armed officers were present at least once a week in 43% of all public schools during the 2015-2016 school year. Last month's shooting at a Florida high school has put a new focus on the role of armed security officers. You can find more on these stories throughout the day, anytime at cbnnews.com. French citizens marched through the streets of Paris Wednesday demanding an end to anti-Semitism. The demonstration came amidst growing concerns over a rise in anti-Jewish hate crimes throughout the country. Our Gary Lane is on this story.
Thousands demonstrated in the streets of Paris, singing the French national anthem, showing the world that France stands united against anti-Semitism. Politicians, Christians, Jews, and Muslims gathered throughout France just after the funeral of 85-year-old Morel Knoll. A Holocaust survivor, Knoll was stabbed 11 times. Her charred body was found after the murderer set her apartment ablaze to conceal the crime.
It started as a memorial in honor of Mrs. Knoll, who was killed. Once we've known that it was anti-Semitic motive, then it became a march against anti-Semitism because she is the 11th person being killed for the only reason that she was Jewish.
French officials ruled the murder an act of anti-Semitism, a hate crime. Noel's 29-year-old Muslim neighbor and a homeless man were charged. And as thousands marched to honor Mrs. Noel, another act of anti-Semitism took place in Paris, this time nearby at the French Jewish Students' Union at the Sorbonne. Written on an office wall were the words "Death to Israel" and "Palestine will win."
So it makes me really angry, and I'm looking for the government, for the police, for the justice, for the universities to condemn this act and to react very strong.
French officials have pledged to do what they can to prevent more attacks, but fearing the worst, some of the nation's 500,000 Jews have already fled the country. Gary Lane, CBN News.
Facebook's data privacy scandal continues, and the social media giant is still working to make changes to make the users happy. Now the company has announced it will be limiting data it makes available to advertisers. That includes information like home ownership and purchase history, which will have a big impact on the targeted ads you see on your feed. Facebook's product marketing director said shutting down the feature over the next 6 months will help improve people's privacy. Faith is under attack in America, perhaps no more than online on sites like Twitter, Facebook, and Google. Now, as Jenna Browder reports from Washington, faith leaders are taking a stand against the increasing censorship.
I'm 100% pro-life.
A campaign ad banned by Twitter.
I fought Planned Parenthood, and we stopped the sale of baby body parts. Thank God.
Representative Marsha Blackburn talking abortion and her pro-life views that Twitter deemed inflammatory.
I stand for hundreds of millions of honest Americans.
Just one example of a conservative voice silenced by Silicon Valley.
The big tech companies, Google, which runs YouTube, you have Facebook, they're really holding themselves out as the virtual public square. And come to find out, it's really not a public square. It's not open to everybody. And we're seeing increasingly where they're beginning to really censor who comes in.
Tony Perkins, president of the Family Research Council, is standing with Blackburn and the national religious broadcasters to take on the tech giants like Twitter, Facebook, and Google.
When you censor free speech for one, you censor it for all.
Here they are at NRB's annual International Christian Media Convention.
It is a problem. It's becoming a bigger problem.
NRB President Jerry Johnson says this kind of censorship is everywhere.
Facebook has, taken posts from Todd Starnes of Fox News off, Mike Huckabee, Alan West, Carol Swain, who's a PhD out of Vanderbilt. And so these are, political or religious messages they don't like. They just remove the post. Incredible.
NRB is also taking the fight to Capitol Hill, asking lawmakers to take action.
I'm politically incorrect and proud of it.
In Blackburn's case, Twitter eventually backed off its controversial decision and let her keep and pay to promote her ad. But that's not to say it won't happen again.
The first step to securing our freedoms is to use our freedoms.
Perkins has this practical word of advice.
And so I think, we look at the First Amendment. It's not something that we're going to lock away in a box to protect it. It's something we want to exercise and use it and make it stronger. And so our message to Christians is live out your faith, share your faith.
In Washington, Jenna Browder, CBN News.
Coming up, 100 years young and still going strong will get her secret to a long life when we come back. Spring is here, but the winter flu season is not going anywhere. The Centers for Disease Control has issued a warning to all Americans. A second strain of the flu, influenza B, is the newest threat. Children are especially at risk. They report that 5 children died during the week of March 17th from the flu. Officials say parents should pay close attention to their children's behavior and be sure to take them to the doctor if you see them struggling to breathe, if they have a poor appetite or are unusually irritable. Most health problems stem from 3 simple things: eating the wrong foods, not being physically active, and not managing stress very well. Seventh-day Adventists avoid all of these issues, so it's no surprise they live 10 years longer than most Americans. Lori Johnson brings us the story.
At age 100, Benita Williber still has a healthy mind, body, and spirit. I've given myself to the Lord, and I've left myself in His hands, and I have trust, and I have been very, very well taken care of.
She's not alone. There's an unusually high concentration of centenarians in her hometown of Loma Linda, California. It's one of only 5 so-called blue zones worldwide, areas where people live the longest. The others are Okinawa, Japan, Korea, Greece, Sardinia, Italy, and Nicoya, Costa Rica. Loma Linda is an hour east of Los Angeles. About 250,000 people live here. The reason they're so healthy is because most of them are Seventh-day Adventists. On average, they live 10 years longer than most Americans. Dr. Larry Beeson has researched this phenomenon for the last 50 years.
Adventists have approximately the same proportion of people who die of cancer, heart disease, or stroke, but the age that they get diagnosed is much later.
They strongly adhere to the belief of respecting the human body as a temple of the Holy Spirit. That means no alcohol, no tobacco, and following a plant-based diet.
In Christianity, we have the Holy Scriptures. What God said from the beginning, you should eat. He gave us the nuts and the grains and the herbs that He placed in the earth. And He said, you will do better if you subsist on that type of thing.
What has your diet been throughout your life?
Vegetables. My sister liked fruit. Well, I do too, but vegetables had priority, and I like them raw.
Many Adventists, like Benita, are total vegetarians. Others will eat a little dairy, while some occasionally consume fish. And there are those who eat small amounts of poultry and beef. These choices lead to different health outcomes.
The more flesh foods you eat, the more Alzheimer's, the more heart disease, the more cancer, the earlier the death occurs. We're going the other direction as people move toward the removing flesh food from the diet. There tends to be a delay in the onset of the diseases.
Diet isn't the only factor in these longer lives. Seventh-day Adventists strictly observe the Sabbath. Every Saturday, they rest to recuperate from the week and recharge for the one ahead. Also, to spend time with friends, family, and God. Stuart Hardy, who pastors one of the world's largest congregations, says resting on the Sabbath includes abstaining from electronics.
Any of those things that kind of take you back into work, you try and avoid those things. Now, it's not like it's a rule, but when you think about it, if there's anything that you're involved in during the week, if you go back to that, then you're not really taking a break from it.
I feel that rest is one of the most important things in aging. That if you rest, then you can get up and gallop.
Medical research confirms stress kills.
Science has always kind of had some kind of tension with religion, particularly in contemporary society. So it's great to be able to read something in the scriptures that suggests what we should do, and then science is not only affirming it, but even giving us more specific understanding of why it benefits us so much.
Exercise is also a priority. Throughout her life, Benita was extremely active. Now she walks every day, but admits she doesn't have the strength she once did.
It is subsiding, and that's the way God had intended for people to be, and so I accept that too, even though I don't like it.
Adventists are able to stick to their healthy lifestyle because they're surrounded by others living the same way.
My mother used to keep us in the straight and narrow way by saying, now be careful with the company you keep. Be careful with the company you keep. Because if you keep a certain company, strange enough, it has an influence upon you.
So look to the Seventh-day Adventists who live an average of 10 years longer than the rest of us. They exercise and observe the Sabbath. They avoid alcohol, tobacco, and meat, all within a social network that reinforces that behavior. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
And still ahead, 2 atheists set out to debunk Christianity, and they are rocked by what they found. We'll show you next. When 2 atheists set out to examine evidence for the resurrection of Jesus Christ, their goal was to prove it never happened. When they ran up against facts they couldn't dismiss, they came to a conclusion they never expected. The resurrection is true. Paul Strand shows us how these die-hard skeptics became strong defenders of the Christian faith.
As a successful cold case detective, J. Warner Wallace became so well known at solving decades-old murders, he ended up as the foremost expert on national TV true crime shows.
Wallace was also an atheist and decided to turn his superior detective skills to disproving the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Or maybe even proving it if the evidence took him there.
I'm going to have to figure out how to evaluate that for its truthfulness, given the skill set that I had as a cold case detective.
CBN News talked to him at a crowded conference where many hundreds gathered to hear Wallace tell his story and learn how their faith in Christ rests on solid evidence. For years, some doubters clung to one theory that Jesus didn't actually die on the cross, but was just nearly dead and revived later. Wallace points out when you work with dead bodies all the time, like he has, and people in Christ's time did, you can definitely tell dead from nearly dead.
Hot blood's going to stop circulating. You're going to cool down. That's called algor mortis, and that you'll be cool to the touch. And we can actually judge time of death based on how cool. And I've seen this my entire career. There's a thing called rigor mortis. You won't be as flexible as you would be if you were just unconscious.
And Warner finds in the book of John a key point of proof, a line about blood and water coming out of Jesus' body on the cross when a Roman soldier pierced him with a spear.
Water will collect in your lungs. Now, if that happens and you pierce that cavity, you're going to see a separation of blood and water.
It struck Wallace powerfully that John wrote of this.
He's either so clever that he included some little-known biological fact that nobody would discover for 1,800 years, or he just reported what he saw. And as a result, we have a good piece of hidden science that confirms that Jesus actually died of cardiac arrest on that cross and was dead at the point of taking the body off the cross.
The Renaissance said, we don't need God. Why? See how great man, woman is.
As an atheist, Josh McDowell set off to write Evidence That Demands a Verdict to show the evidence about Christ, including his resurrection, was so weak, the verdict would be not true.
The resurrection was one of several things I knew I had to refute as a non-believer.
But instead of refuting, he became so convinced it happened, he spends dozens of pages knocking down false theories, such as Christ didn't really die, but woke up and escaped from the tomb.
There were 100 and some pounds encasement of aromatic spices and gummy cement consistency around his body, wrapped tightly in 3 separate linen cloths, weighing about 117 pounds encased in that, and it becomes hardened. Second, how would he be able to move in such a state like that, move a 1.5 to 2 ton stone away from the entrance?
As for the idea that after the crucifixion the disciples stole Christ's body, well, the Jewish leaders opposed to Jesus were so afraid of that very thing happening, they talked the Romans into posting a massive guard group, probably 16 soldiers, outside Christ's tomb. So McDowell scoffs at the idea the disciples could have pulled off such a heist.
The impossibility of that they could have climbed through there, tiptoed around all the guards, and become invisible to the guards in front of the tomb, roll 1.5 to 2 ton stone, that at that day they said that 20 men couldn't move it.
Wallace can't accept this was all just a conspiracy because detectives know those often fall apart when the people involved face real threats if they don't recant.
And we don't have a single ancient record of any of the disciples ever recanting, when that was often the goal of the people who were persecuting Christians.
Wallace points out courts don't expect the law to prove no possible doubt, only no reasonable doubt.
So is it possible that they conspired for 60 years at 500 plus people under immense pressure with not enough family relationships to hold it together? Yeah, it's possible. It's just not reasonable.
Remember too, all the early believers were fervent Jews who faced dire danger if they broke the Sabbath. Alex McFarland, who organized this conference, points out how that changed right after Jesus' resurrection.
Pious Jews whose very relationship with God is contingent on keeping a Sabbath that they've observed for centuries, suddenly, overnight, begin to worship on Sunday. Why? Something must have happened. Sunday was Resurrection Day.
Now, you have to understand what it meant to the Jew if they ever broke the Sabbath. It could mean death.
In the empty tomb, we have it all, ironclad, guaranteed. I tell people the tomb was left empty so that your life could be made full.
It gives me hope that as Christ was raised to the dead, I shall be too, because of that.
If Christ physically rose from the grave, then that proves his identity, message, and credentials. What was his identity? God incarnate. What was his message? Salvation by faith in what he did on the cross. His credentials, virgin-born, sinless life, rose from the dead, i.e., he is the Savior.
Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from the Truth for a New Generation Conference, Greensboro, North Carolina.
And to learn about why you can be confident the resurrection is true and also why the Bible is true, go to our website, cbnnews.com, for more stories like the one you just saw. While you are there, you can also find out where you can get a copy of J. Warner Wallace's book, Cold Case Christianity. Stay with us. We'll come right back. Some Arkansas churchgoers wanted to reach out to offer hope to the area, so they decided to offer drive-through prayer. Pentecostals of Jonesboro hosted the event at the start of Holy Week. The church's pastor said his congregation is trying to focus on others this year.
It's clear that Jesus said, the way you'll know my disciples wasn't their religious doctrine or how persuasive they could be. He said the way you'll know them is by their love one for another.
And the pastor said he now hopes to hear a lot of testimonies about answered prayer. Right now it is time for your Thursday Thankful, and here's a point of gratitude I'd like to share with you today. Father, I thank you for delaying my desires. In that waiting, I routinely realize your will is always better than mine. With that word, make this a thankful Thursday and take time to say thanks to your Heavenly Father and to those right around you. You can always find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. We'd love to hear what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that by emailing newswatch@cbn.com. You can also reach us always on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make this a thankful Thursday. We'll see you right back here, same time tomorrow. Goodbye and God bless.